assessment for a short period of time as established in public tax market or improvement. His request is from the public tax roll in 2005, and basically it's just asking that we freeze the assessment for a short period of time. You will be receiving an electronic certified mail official notice county is the tax roll. But I want to come over this morning so you have a chance to answer any questions. I understand that we will be receiving one accepted by certified mail official notice. Next week, you can say we have no, but I want to come over this morning because I have a chance to answer any question. With that, I want to open up for any questions, and then I think by motion or resolution, next week you can say I have how the questions coming through by mail. We guys are down here like it. So again, it's just an assessment. With that, I want to open it up for any questions. The district being created is an outline of that part of our copy of what's coming to fill that strip mall again. It's productive stuff. I think again, it's an assessment. We kind of freeze on that parcel. The district being created is an outline of that parcel. So to fill that strip mall. The whole 23,000 is not spoken for, but I will tell you that Health and Human Services would like to be. Delivery local people that are having conversations. The whole 23,000 is not okay for it, but I will tell you that Health and Human Services property behind part of that, they build a parking lot. You've got a few or three local people that are having conversations with developers share. Becoming part of that, they then extend and pay the work with what you're going by that all the property behind. So build a parking lot, and then it's already out our pay that lesson, and we go kind of glad with that over the share.
I mentioned that last meeting,
out of that all that we did broke down. So, and then it's already out our paving list, and we go kind of going about 10 days.
Secretary of State, part of that. I mentioned that last meeting.
Yes, the FI and Secretary of State are sure that I've got about 3 people that are having conversations. I think you've got about 9,000 people.
Secretary of State, part of it.
Yes, the FI and Secretary of State are the two members that I've got about 12 people that are having conversation. I appreciate you telling me about 9,000 working on the official offices here for about 2 days at the restaurant. And just one last comment. Thanks, Josh, for your help. I think about 4 years ago, I think just kind of a gentleman's agreement, and I was working for on the official office and how you're they had that whether you like that class. One last comment. Thanks, Josh, for your help. I think about 4 years ago, I think just kind of a gentleman's agreement, we would agree we would work.
You're doing a good job, Bob.
Are there any other questions of this particular consent agreement from the board?
Or having somebody else really all talking about
You're doing a good job, Bob.
Public comments?
I
Larry,
think we all appreciate that.
are there any other questions of this particular consent agreement from the board before they move forward?
Larry Grout, Village Township Supervisor.
Public comments?
I have a
Larry?
letter here from Voice Hydro. It's down very, Larry Grout, Village Township Supervisor. I have a letter here from Voice Hydro. This is, it's kind of wasn't supposed to be passed out. I want everybody to pass it out.
Absolutely.
And I think it concerns, this is, kind of wasn't supposed to be. And one of the things in there is, Mr. Mueller is gonna do some work on the dam. October, he wants to drop it 4 feet. Our whole county, then he wants to hit us with a $6 million assessment. And one of the things in there is, if we don't go around with that, Mr. Mueller is gonna do some work on the dam, $1 million grant for care. In October, he wants to drop it 4 feet. Then he wants to hit us with a $6 million assessment. Like we did for FEMA, all the trouble. If we don't go around with that, he's talking about, I think, $1 million grant for care in the day. It'll work pretty soon because we don't want to wait and get, I don't know if we have to get, like
We
we
couldn't
did
agree with you
FEMA,
more in
all the townships together.
Tobacco Township's presently
But I think
working
we gotta
with
start
FERC.
somewhere
And
pretty
that's
soon
just a
because
meeting last night,
don't
so
wanna wait to
the
get behind
most recent
people.
update is Bill Clark. We couldn't agree with you more and be able to reach the Tobacco Township's presently working with, we are moving forward. There should be a letter coming back from them as to some of the steps that they recommend we take in agreement with what I heard to reach the assistant director of FERC. I don't have all the answers yet forward. There should none of us will, but from them. As soon as some of that gets organized and then we take in agreement Burke and some of our local officials, process level, I've been in contact with Joel. I don't have all the answers yet, none of us will, but as soon as all that gets organized, and we will organize a meeting with Burke and some of our local officials, and they have every right to be
They want to be
concerned.
lakefront, not riverfront.
Sure, absolutely. We will, so, we 100% agree with you, and
I got some
we
really
will keep you
concerns.
involved.
Okay,
Very
sure.
excited.
You do.
And they
One
have
of
every
those
right to
things
be
that you want to
concerned.
be lakefront, not river. Our township still
Sure,
has a lot of problems.
So, we 100% agree with you,
Comes
and
down to our
we will get
township.
you involved.
Okay,
very shortly.
One of the little things I got in our search here, our township still has a lot of problems with GIS, to our assessor. We've asked for stuff to come down to our township.
I understand 100%, and if you can just hang with us for a few, we recognize and research where issues were. When we have our new equalization director, we plan on adopting that contract today. I understand 100%, and it will take us a little bit of time. We've recognized and researched where our issues were. And I think we've identified where our issues started.
We had some people, one of our board members last night went to get.
It will take us a little bit of time to go through some of that. I personally will telling you that, make sure that we try to get. I think we've identified where our issues started.
We had some people, one of our board members last night.
We know where it
Went to get
is now, but
information
it
on
took us a while to
so
sort
you're
it.
also.
I personally, any other public comment, make sure that we try to get that fixed. Yes. as soon as
Appreciate that, thank you.
But we know where it is now, but it took us a while to sort it. Any other public comment? Yes.
Our main concern for those townships is Dan, we put a lot of money into it, our system is like help you to use your so searching to find your problem, find your error, information about that. When our main concern for those townships is we came over to our money in township ball, our system is set up, let it do all, you all that, you know, that's so we did find out when it was October, I think it was. Yeah, and, you know, Kobe came over to our, they come on wall, I was information on the letter, she was there, all that, went back, sent her an email saying, you know, when it was October, I think it was that, yeah. And, hard copy her, once she told me to do it right then, I didn't make a formal request, because I still have issues, which while she was there, I sent her an email saying, you know, request, what's information, so fill that, to help, and I hard copy her, we're all in this together right then, like, saying, something like that, over down, and to help, you know, if so, that's, you know, we're willing to do that. What can, you know, it really down, you know, between the other towns and the county, we're all in start working together, whether we like it or not. I mean, just can't you guys doing down here, you glad help and the county, if so, you know, and we're willing to do that. You know, we can do that, and I'm offering my assistant, the other town, something that I can, we gotta start working together, sure, but just can't you
I
guys.
appreciate that, and you're right, we have to work together. I think some of what the issue was
Hopefully,
is
we can do that, and I'm offering my assistance, if there's something that I
perhaps
can do.
we did split
Not sure,
those
but-
departments up.
That's-
I appreciate that, and you're right, we have people together. I think some of what the issue was, is discovered where those downfalls were, so we should be able to fix that. But that takes getting our new director in place, by doing that, and equalization department, input different information in different systems.
Is that department?
We have discovered where those
Is that funded
downfalls
in our
were,
budget?
so we should be able to fix that. But that takes getting our new director in place, getting equalization department reapplied.
Is that department, it's not funded in our budget, is that funded
It's,
in our budget?
it's run through the Gypsy Moth Department of President. So there's funds, how we work that, manipulate that through.
Well, that's something like, in our budget, it's not funded.
It's run through the Gypsy Moth Department of
Maybe
President.
that's where, and I don't know exactly what type of.
There's funds, how we work that, manipulate that through.
Well, that's just something we think about there, if it's not funded, it's if it's rolled, it sounds like you're trying to work on it, maybe that's, and I don't know exactly what dollars to set this up, work is paid, but, you know, that's.
To our knowledge, diverse township is you guys, I think.
Sounds like you're trying to
For
work on it.
whatever reason, there's a few others with, and I think it had to do with some entry codes. And again, we're working on all that, to our knowledge, diverse township is you guys, I think. I'll be another reason, there's a few others with, and I think it had to do with some entry codes. And we can, and again, if we can't get this resolved shortly, we'll run it through county affairs and have you guys come in. I'll be in touch with you.
There's something that.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
thank you. And we can, if we can't get this resolved shortly, we'll run it
I
through
represent Village Town.
county affairs and then have
I
you
talked to Gina on
Fair
a
enough.
couple of different occasions.
Okay,
And I know
all right.
that you
All right,
guys
thank you.
You know, I'd like to add some, there seems to be a misunderstanding, represent, don't think I'm on the line. I talked to Gina on a couple of different occasions, I know that she doesn't report back, and I'm 2 years behind, or she's 2 years behind. There seems to be a misunderstanding, I'd like to know things along the line, and I don't know if this is the time, nobody would like to put it in committee, but I'd like to take myself, I can't give reports back, 2 years behind, 2 years behind, or she's 2 years behind.
Gina, do you wanna speak
I'd
to
like to
that?
know, and I don't know. if
I'm
this is
live
the
for our
time.
online web map in our land records portal. We started that, we went live in January of 2011. Towards the end of 2010, when we did some of our final maintenance. I'm live for our there were some
web
class
map in our
codes
land
that were
records
not
portal.
inputted. We started that, some of those. We went live in January of 2011. So they were not mapped. Towards the end of 2010, when we did as far as the database, which is the tax information, which is what most assessors use. Those parcels are just not some of those. So parcels. For a while, all I heard was it's old in the land records portal as far as the database, which is the tax information, which is what most assessors use. Those parcels are just not mapped. Through a bunch of research, contacting with Billings, I went out there, all I heard was it's old, the problem. It's old. Well, without having any invited the supervisor here to this meeting here, where we educated them on the process. Through a bunch of research, contacting with Billings, I went out there, now the problem's been addressed, we know what's wrong, because we found it. We invited the supervisor here to this meeting here, where we educated them on the process and why we were, there's very few that is outdated. So now the problem's been addressed, we know what's wrong, because we found it. And it's just from 2010, there's just some from 2010 that's missing, but 2011 is corrected, then we can move forward. But, there's very few that is outdated on there.
We're gonna work in
Correct.
that direction.
Yeah, and it's just from 2010, there's just some from 2010 that's missing, but 2011 and 2012 are there.
Thank you. Either of which we need to fix 2010, we understand. Are there any other public
Correct.
comment direction?
Yes, and we're working on it, it's just, it takes time, so.
Is there anything else for Gina? Jan, I see that you're here, and I was going to put forward on, are there any other public comment list? Did you want to speak to, I know Bill Rhodes is coming,
I
or
wanted
any
to
requests?
come forward
It's on the agenda here.
And enlighten.
Jan, I see that you're here, and I was going to
on
put
Hoover
forward
Avenue
on,
Forge, and I'm not
that size list.
requesting
Did
any
you want to speak
approval of
to-
anything,
did you have anything to say?
money, if I want to come forward. But as you know, we have the recycling center at the commissioners on Hoover Avenue Forge. We're starting on third year and any approval of any 501c3. But as you know, we have the recycling donations and the project that we've been in, we're starting on 30 years. What I have here is our 501c3. The last list here had notes that give information, donations, and if you want to file it back with me, that's fine, so that what I have here is that it doesn't come to me. The last list had notes that give you information. But it tells, and if you want to file it back with me, that's fine, so that it doesn't go in my with me. I'm not going to landfill.
We could use your help up there.
But it tells, what, well, I can't sort that paper, by how much, when we're not going to landfill.
We could use your help up there.
Trash is different than recycling. Some people, I can't sort that here. But we are open 2 days a week on Thursdays, and trash is different than recycling, I'll tell you. Some people bring their trash in. And we are open 2 days a week on Thursdays, and on Saturday 10 to 2. We were formed, got a 501c3 back in our 4, and on Thursday, through a lot of discussion and no's and whatever, that we, no one was really got a 501c3 back in. Sally and I, 4, and we have some members, other members on the board, and no's and whatever, that Sally and I, no one took it on ourselves to go ahead with it. Sally and I, through the graciousness of the other members on the board, having the shell building, and everything, Sally and I took it on ourselves to go ahead with it. But it is through the graciousness of the Bedgrove family, until we have a shell building, do this for the community. It is not audience, the ship building. but it
Our net
does,
tons are the purpose.
and this is net tons from last year,
Until we
is
are very happy that we're able to
128.94
do this for
tons
the community.
of paper, and
For
that's
the
just paper.
audience,
I haven't figured out
our net tons,
tin
this is net
and
tons
the
from
plastic.
last year, is
But it does explain how many trees we save, tons, how much about the paper, and that's just paper. Gallons of oil, I haven't figured out the landfill expense, gallons of water, tin, and the plastics. Landfill space. But it does explain how many trees we saved in there. How much about the pollution, if the people are coming forward. Gallons of oil, dollars, and the landfill expense, gallons of water, cubic yards of landscape. Landfill space,
would see us in the
and
spring.
how much energy we saved in there.
Recyclable.
The people are coming forward.
Every week,
Some,
we had a gentleman come in,
still bringing in their
a month ago. He said
he
he
would
would
see
see
us
us
in
in
the
the
spring
spring
to pick up the
because
cardboard,
they
they
don't
don't
go
go
to
to
recyclable.
but some come in a couple of
This
weeks.
is out in Beaverton.
We have,
At
the
first they
people
didn't
think
think
it would
it would
go
go
down,
down,
and
gas
gas
prices
prices
went
went
up.
up. So
We
paper
do
costs,
not have a truck to
pick up
recycle
cardboard,
that
so
we
we
don't
don't
get back.
they figured it out,
A couple of
and
businesses
they
out
load
there.
their Beaverton truck.
At first
With
they
their
did
cardboard
cardboard,
paid off,
once
gas prices went up,
bring it in,
so
and
it
it
costs
pays them of the
And
recyclable.
then if, you know,
They
they figured it out,
for the truck
and
the driver,
load their, but they
pick
still
up
save
truck
money by bringing
with
their
their
cardboard
cardboard
once
once
a week,
track
and
it
bring it
down.
in, and they are coming along, more
More
than
than
all the support we
you know, the
forget.
cost of the fuel for the truck and the driver.
And for the
But they still
township,
save money by
realizing
bringing
that
their
our
own
trash
trash
and
in.
some are recycling. So we are coming along, offers like all the support we forget. We take catalogs, books, and one thing for the township, and realize that we owe more trash than one part, because some are recycled, fines off. But we do
When
take
they're
the
brought back,
office
and
paper,
we
whether
take
it's
the
shredded or
trash
not,
and they
we
do the
take
office
catalogs, books, and one thing or another, we are coming along. And I would want that to, need to be enlightened, cut the spines off. And I don't know if they're brought back, and we have, so we are coming along. That's everything that one recycle, enlighten, and I know Josh is very, I don't know if you have, and you are invited to come and visit us. That's every day that we're open, cycle. Just see what we are doing. I know Josh is very, because you are invited, something that to come and visit us 2 days or 2 hours a week on. Just see what we are doing. I'm living it almost, because, but I do appreciate that you only spend 2 days or 2 hours a week on. We are, there's a funny myself, that don't enter, and I realize because of the distance, but I do appreciate, and they do have the trash, they don't understand, some don't understand all the help that we are, there are 3 townships until they come to us, don't enter, and I realize because of the distance, and one, so I thank you for your time, and I hope that you have the trash, they don't understand, some don't understand about townships, I can represent trash, I realize you're down to 5, until they come to us, 7, I recognize 3 of you, so I thank you for your time, and I hope that you will enlighten the residents of the townships that you represent, more material coming in, it's more problem. 7, I recognize 3 of you.
Jan, I would like to say my
I have
wife
heard
makes
of
me
God,
visit
so.
you. But you are always there, and I
Like I
appreciate,
say,
we all
more
appreciate your efforts.
Material coming in.
As far as the
it's more
SEDS, the
profit.
comprehensive economic development that I mentioned to you, Jan, I would like to say my wife makes me visit you. But you are always there, and I appreciate, we all appreciate your efforts. To be coming, but as far as the SEDS, the comprehensive economic development that I mentioned to you, that I wanted to research for dinner the other night, as far as grant, I think that you would have also grants, but what would you need? Was supposed to be coming, but do you have,
Well, we
on
need
your
heat,
wish list of
and
things that
one
you'd like
thing
MCOG to
we're
research
trying to
for
look
you?
into is a
As
paper
far as
shredder.
grant funds.
We have
you know,
small,
their own.
small businesses in town that their
What would you need?
material that
Would you
really
need
should
your-
be shredded is
Well, we
piling
need
up.
heat
And one thing for, because they can't afford to bring in, we have small businesses in town that are, and if material that they really should shred it, and then that would be put in with, because
If there was a
they
shredder,
can't
it would
afford
take the
to
county
bring
something
in
that
the
costs us to
industrial
shred every year.
trucks
Shredded
to do that. And if we had a shredder there, we could shred it, and then that would be put in with, because we do get a lot.
If there was a
We,
shredder.
also, I should mention, we do work with the Army Center. They bring in about 3 truckloads of plastic bags from businesses. Yeah, because we do get a lot. We, also, I should mention, we do work with the Army Center, and one thing, they bring in about 3 truckloads to reach out to the community for recyclables. They are not charged anything.
I don't know, maybe,
It should be better.
covered by aging, but it can't, and one thing.
It's just donations
So,
and our
trying to get out on the community,
everywhere we get
had no.
they are not charged
Out of
anything.
Grand Rapids and Holland, I don't know, maybe.
And it should be better.
Um,
It,
and so
it's just donations
good
and
relationship
whatever we
with
get,
them.
so I don't charge us with address. Company out of Grand Rapids and
They
Holland.
And you might not be familiar with.
And so the large, cardboard that we don't charge us.
Certain things in, others we bail, or the materials that
And our
they give
people
us,
there,
or
people that are coming in, they be home
might
and
not
coming
be familiar with.
Isn't it
They're
a large
large,
4x4x4
they don't realize
cardboard that we
a
put
lot of
certain
bales.
things in,
on
others
the
we bail. And our
So you
people
have all
there,
the can
people
crushers
that are
and
coming
everything
in, they
else?
no, I thought that,
No,
could have a can
It's
crusher
about
about
kind
kind
of
of
the, but they don't realize
that
that
heat
we
of
have
some
a lot
sort
of
of the
bales.
building. We do have it covered
So
in the
you have all the
bathroom.
can crushers
And what is
everything
the,
else?
no, I thought that, we could have a can crusher, we could use the heat of some sort within the building. We do have it covered in the bathroom, and what is hand crusher and the water, because it didn't,
And I'm looking at the
shredder, because it would really,
the residents,
really,
I didn't list out a wish list,
but those are the types of things that had to come in
hand
and
crusher
say,
and the shredder, and I said no. And I'm looking at the
I
shredder
checked
because
in,
it is really.
I just emailed someone last night,
They don't have
one, but they're about to come in and say, do you have a, and I said, depending on what kind I've got. But we would check in, I just emailed someone last night,
Industrial type.
they don't have one, but they're about to do 15 something
What,
dollars.
what are the can crushers run roughly?
Depending, that I haven't checked into, but we would want one,
Because
because
really do,
Give me a guess.
more industrial type shredders, not one of those.
Oh,
Oh, I would say 20.
What are the can crushers run
If you're
roughly?
looking at.
that I haven't checked in,
And that would be a savings
because
because
what
what
we're
we're doing right
Give me
now,
a guess.
depending upon
Just for
our,
the sets, I think 20 grand.
court
I
orders
would say 20 volunteers,
when
and
they
they
show up
should be looking at.
to crush the can.
And that would be a savings because what we're
Some
doing
don't
right
like it,
right now,
and
depending upon.
when they come to us, court orders
And I think that's volunteers
when
when
they
they
show up to
to
crush the can.
because that is one
And
reason
we
we
don't-
manually.
some don't like it,
Volunteers if you.
But come
that's one
and
of
see
the
what
jobs.
we have, when they come to us.
The building is large,
And
that
you have one door open so that the truck
with,
with
because that is one reason we don't
Cardboard
get any volunteers.
can back right in to see what we have.
The building is large,
You have one door open so that the
Sally
truck
and I don't,
with
don't have any
the
cardboard
cardboard
going up and down.
can back right in. And so one's up and one's down and
That really open most of the time, because
And Jan does,
Sally and I don't.
they do
know
make
how
money
many times that
at
door
just
will go up and down.
enough barely to pay
But now
part-timers
it's fair.
so far, but.
And
Well, we
so-
only, one's up and
We
one's
only pay
down.
Sally.
Over there. We have two volunteers,
And-
there are
and
two
Jan
volunteers,
does-
they come in,
They
they
do make money
the
at
4 hours.
Just
But
enough
Sally,
barely
I was
to
able
pay
to pay, I'm
part-timers
able
so
to pay
far.
her. Well, we only pay Sally, not great, but it's a little, we have two volunteers, two volunteers, all the hours is there, the 4 hours. Sometimes she's there, Sally, I was able to pay, I'm able to pay her, she understands that because she's just not great, but it's a little something because she does, and I don't pay her for all the hours she's there. Sometimes she's there until 7 o'clock, sometimes she's there at 8 o'clock.
How many
She
years
understands
did you
that
go back?
because she's
You
just as
I've been up
willing
here
to work
forever,
as
but
she does more than I
fighting
do,
that
but she's
recycling,
younger than
just
I.
about as long.
Well,
And that late goes back just many years.
Well, it
How
was,
many years did
pipe
you go
closed
back?
and they started in about
I've been up here
2001
forever, but
or something like that.
fighting
And
that
they say I wrote
recycling,
the,
just about as long.
paperwork for the
It goes
nonprofit
back up many
status.
years.
Well, it was,
And
pipes
see,
closed
like I
and
said,
it started in about
it's
2001,
along,
we did have
something like that.
And like say, I wrote the,
papers from.
paperwork
for
for the
nonprofit.
and we were
Status,
beginning,
wonder when my shed
and
was
that's
full,
when we see
like
like
I
barn
said, it
was
was
full,
but then it
where are we
started
going to
to
go on? We did have
broke down, I think, for.
a truck that we collected papers from over by the high school. And we were beginning it, but if you want to come and visit, give it a look over. We had one baler, we got rid of it, and the other baler, I'm glad we had that, so that we don't have to try it. But if you want to come and visit, just give it a look over. We had one baler, that was not anonymous because I know another baler, I had that. But nobody else unless that baler we got it through an anonymous baler, really helped because someone said, I was tied up then with the car, not anonymous because I know, and the other one is for the plastics in the paper. But nobody else unless that person has said. So the two balers really helped because the one.
Yes,
is
and
tied up
I
in the cardboard.
need a grant writer when I find out prices and I had forgotten about you.
And so I will try to get in contact with you when I get more information.
Yes, and I need a grant writer when I find out prices and I had forgotten about you. Marge Chamberlain,
And so I
did our
will
first grant for the
contact
baler,
with you
but
when
because
I
of
get
her
more
health,
information.
she's
no longer able to do that, but we did get the balers to the, because Marge Chamberlain, I did our first grant for the baler, Yeah,
but because of her health,
because
she's no longer able to do that, but we did get
the balers to the.
about 6,500 that they gave us. And about one and then the other one. And so we're appreciative of that because the first load you're looking at, the pad knows about $6,500 profit. And they told us if it had been baled, we would have, we're appreciative of that because the first load we sent out
to get the baler.
the pad knows, I think we got about $600 profit. And they told us if it had been
We
baled,
are
we would have
501c3.
gotten about
Are there any other
1,100.
questions?
And that's when we work to get the baler.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate your help. Okay.
I don't see Bill
We
here.
are 501c3.
Are there any other questions for Jan? Thank you so
And I
much.
appreciate your
There
help.
you are. Do you want to do your presentation? I don't see Bill here. Carol, there you are.
Good morning, everyone.
Do you want to do your
I
presentation?
have two things. I need to get approval for the contract for 2013 federal 311 operating. Plan and resolution. I have also have for our 2014 budget application, the contract for 2013 federal 311 operating.
Individual.
And the resolution is not. And I also have for the 2013 budget application, 311 approval.
Individually.
Been moved and seconded.
First one.
Is for the 2013 section 53 line operating.
Commissioner Carl,
Yes.
Commissioner Walters, Commissioner Reed,
Been moved and
Commissioner
seconded.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Commissioner Burgo,
Motion passes.
Commissioner Carl,
Yes.
The second one is the 2014 budget
Commissioner
application,
Wakeman,
resolution.
Yes.
Commissioner Burgo,
Motion passed. Moved and seconded. Madam Clerk.
The second one is the 2014 budget application.
Commissioner Walters, Commissioner
resolution.
Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Whittington,
Yes.
Commissioner Burgo, Commissioner Carl.
Yes.
Been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Walters,
No
Commissioner
questions?
Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Whittington,
Thank you,
Yes.
Carol.
Commissioner Burgo, Commissioner Carl.
Yes.
Is there any questions?
No questions?
Thank you
No.
very much.
Thank you, Carol. If Bill don't show up, don't let
Carol?
me forget.
If you want to hang around for 2 minutes, I'll have these for you. I'll take permanent copies.
Still no Bill. If Bill don't show up, don't let me forget we need to talk about this. If Bill don't show up, don't let me forget.
If you want to hang around for 2 minutes, I'll have these for you. I'll take permanent copies.
Okay.
Gina Conrad. If Bill don't show up, don't let me forget we need to talk about this that early.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gina Conrad. Next, a bit early.
We only have 4 blocks this year, so I went ahead and printed you each a copy of all of them. Each block, there's also a summary. You're welcome. We only have 4 blocks this year, so I went ahead and printed you each a copy of all of them. We just completed surveying, January 25th. There's also a summary.
It was a
You're welcome.
long year and we had to go through some tough weather, but only having the one experienced team. I
We
think
just completed surveying, January 25th.
money in the long run.
They know what they're doing, where they're going, some tough weather, but, only having the one, we have 4 blocks, we have one in, I think we're still worth it. One in Sherman, that we could save money in the long run. One right here in the city of Gladwin again, and one in Beaverton, and what they're looking for. So look at the second page, we have 4 blocks, we have one in 756 acres. One in Sherman, one in Sage. I do not have to send out here in the city of Gladwin again. Last year, we done it with multiple units, and we did it on multiple year contract, a total of 756 acres, so. I do not have to send out the RFPs, because when we done it last year, we done it with multiple units, and we did it on a multiple year contract, therefore giving us the best price possible. So, need permission to have the board chair sign the contract. It's just the isolated hotspots, you know, we've been doing it long enough, and actually, it's kind of nice that all the counties around us treat, so we get to really just kind of treat what flares up in our county. You know, sometimes up in Sherman up there because of the state land up there. And actually, it's kind of nice that all the counties around us treat more acres around there. We get to really just kind of treat favorites, so it flares up in our county. Sometimes up in Sherman up there because of the state land up there and coming in from Roscommon, we will get more acres around there. And oaks are their favorite, so if there are oak trees in an area like that, they tend to be in that area as well. But we get to just usually kind of treat our. Yes, we did treat the city last year. Yep, and tend to pick up the city like this because of the park and that at a little bit of a lower level than what I would in another area. Yes, we did treat the city last year. Yep, and tend to pick up the city like this because of the park and that at a little bit of a lower level than what I would in another area, just because there's so many visitors here. So the egg mass density, the size of the population can be just a little bit more. No, we used to, when we worked with MBA, they would come out and do our checks and our inspections and stuff, and now we have, because of last year, we have to go through the DEQ. No, we used to, when we worked with MBA, they would come out and do, I have to go through the NPDES permit, and national, we have discharge last year, we have to go through the DEQ, and the pesticide discharge management plan, which is basically go through the about 100-page document that I had to compile, and keep up to date at all times in case they want to come in and oversee my program and what I'm doing, and pesticide discharge management plan, which is the pesticide that we're using, about 100-page document that I had to compile and keep up to date at all times in case they want to come in and to sign the contract with, to renew the contract with the applicator, yes. The pesticide that we're using and how we use it.
It's been moved and seconded all
To sign the contract with, to renew the contract with the applicator, yes.
To the districts that are going to be sprayed.
Yes, yep, to each township, I will send them an overall map and then a map of just their township showing them what's been treated. And then all homeowners are notified by first class mail.
Going to be sprayed.
Yes, yep, to each township, I will send them an overall map and then a map of just their township showing them what's been treated. And then all homeowners are notified by first class mail. There's any information put on our county website as well. And then the last page you can see is our web map. That's countywide. That is probably the lowest year we've had in 10. There's any questions on that? No, that's awesome. I mean, that's good. You know, I mean, obviously what we're doing is helpful, but that's countywide. That is probably the lowest year we've had in 10. When I send out, letters, each homeowner notifying them that they're in that treatment area, what we're doing is they can respond that they do not want to be in that treatment area, and then I can remove them. And then they also have an option of waiving letters to each homeowner notifying them that they're in that treatment area. Just they can respond that they do not want to be in that treatment area, and then I can remove them. And then they also have an option of waiving letters back and, you know, I always call them just to make sure that they completely understand what they're doing, you know, it's already paid for, and then, you know, what they're using, and usually, you know, once I kind of educate them a little bit, a couple times, I'll get letters back, and, you know, I always call them just to make sure that they completely understand what they're doing, you know, it's already paid for, you know, what I'm using, and usually, you know, once I kind of educate them a little bit, they're all for it, and acreage they want to do.
You want to restrain some of it.
Yep. And then there's some other blocks that, you know, it's just, they're smaller and some are bigger, and just depends on where the counts start dying off at, that's where I stop the blocks. Yeah, so if the council can. And then there's some other blocks that I, it's just they're smaller and some are bigger, and just depends on where the counts start dying off at, and that's where I stop the blocks. So if the counts continue at a certain ratio, then I continue that block, and if they die off, that's where I stop it. No, the gypsy moth are never gonna be eliminated. They're just never gonna, they can never be eradicated, that's why we have our program to suppress them. So all we do is monitor their numbers and where the populations are high. No, the gypsy moth are never gonna be eliminated. They're just never gonna, they can never be eradicated, that's why we have our program to suppress them. So any other questions? All we do is monitor their numbers and where the populations are high, we treat, and then we kick them back and suppress them.
Talk about food.
Talk about food?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Very hard.
Believe all of you, yeah, about food?
Yeah.
Getting real hungry?
It's almost lunchtime.
I believe you all know anyways, if you don't, our head kitchen administrator is retiring. The last date of employment will be Sunday in March. All of you have a proposed contract.
One second, Ray. You guys all
I
have
believe you all know anyways, if you don't, our head kitchen administrator is retiring. The last date of employment will be Sunday in March. So obviously that forces us to have to do something, met with the finance committee. The direction was to research some food vendors, which we've already started doing, that provide that service. We interviewed 3 different vendors. So obviously that forces us to have one CDM, the finance committee recommending that we say. The direction was to research some food vendors, which we've already started doing, that provide that service. We interviewed 3 different vendors. 60-day out clause. This particular one, CDM, is the one that we are recommending that we say. The annual contract, the rate scale for out clause or per inmate meal costs are in that contract. They did have the most competitive rate reasonable. That is reviewed and rate those rates scale be adjusted based on whatever for that they use to per inmate meal costs are in that contract. They did have the most competitive rates. That is reviewed annually. Those rates could be adjusted based on whatever the index that they use to adjust those. They indicated they don't anticipate that. I believe they have, they're doing some jails up in the UP. They are not currently in the Lower Peninsula. They really want to be in the Lower Peninsula, hence the reason. So, I believe they have, they're doing some jails up in the UP. They are not currently in the Lower Peninsula. They really want to be.
Closest actual reference is in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but they can send people down from Escanaba.
Matt, where was there, we had to have a rep, they were coming from,
The closest actual reference.
what they'll do is, the employees that belong to them will come in and provide our service. They've indicated they would hire on our 3 employees that we would have left remaining, which are 3 part-time employees. What they'll do is, the employees that belong to them, they'll come in and provide our service. They've indicated they would hire on our 3 employees that we would have left remaining, which are part-time employees. They become employees of their own, they would have to interview them first if there was an issue that they weren't, they had concern, obviously we'd meet with them to discuss that.
The way
They hire
we're
three
talking about this,
part-timers and then they become employees of theirs, we wouldn't have any employees.
in the discussion we had, when there's something about they would guarantee, when we were in the committee talking about, does that not materialize?
No, that has not, the best anyone will give us is a year.
When there's something about they would.
Whenever we sign the contract or they begin, it will be locked in for a year.
Did that not materialize?
No, that has not, the best anyone will give us is a year.
It's
Whenever we sign the contract or they begin, it will be locked in for a year. We have his 2 contracts, we asked, just 5 in here for the chairman to sign both of them. We'll sign them both out back over to their headquarters and we'll sign it when you have, once we get that signature back. So we have his 2 contracts, we asked, then I'll get back to 5 in here for the chairman to sign both of them. We'll send them both out back over to their headquarters and they'll sign it when you copy once they get their signature back. Get the dates filled in, I'll get back to you, sign them out, and I'll just get so excited. Thank you.
You ready? Carmen will make copies, I'll have them together. We have a tree up here.
Thank you.
You ready? All right, Bill's not here, so let's talk a few minutes about SEDS. You guys are familiar with SEDS. I have a tree up here. I don't know if any of your township officials got with you on anything additional, but Bill did say here, so let's talk just a few minutes about SEDS. You guys are familiar with SEDS. And I don't know if any of your township officials got with you on anything additional, but Bill did say that last year at SEDS, the forage in there, see if they can find anything on recycling, which may be, although I was spending money and state money, guys, Jan coming forward, it's gonna get more challenging, I thought we might as well add forage and anything else that you guys thought of, and recycling, which may be, although, and I believe the county, I'll double check and I'll make sure, I believe we still have, anyways, the county building itself, anything else that you guys thought of, grants available for energy efficient programs. And I believe the county, I'll double check and I'll make sure, I believe we still have, the county building itself on there, if there's anything, grants available for energy efficient programs besides the electrical one that I wrote for.
At the sports complex, they talk about traffic before we talk about that. That's something that maybe we're looking for.
Anything else? Okay. Anything else? We can move on to committee reports. If anybody has any, okay, Commissioner Walters? I believe we can move on.
31st, had a meeting.
Committee reports.
Pardon?
Anybody has any?
Maps all set, I'm sure. 31st, had a meeting, 29th, Crime Stopper. Maps all set. 4th, city meeting, talked about the last day address. 29th, Crime Stopper. Good meeting, get together. 4th, city meeting. The 6th, attended the road commission meeting, public hearing. Upcoming GA building year. And I have the best meeting today, Veterans Affairs. The 6th, attended the road commission meeting, public hearing, Veterans upcoming road situation year. And I have the best meeting today, Veterans Hay Township, Vietnam veteran. I've got the list, Richard Lister, Veterans Secord Township, Korea. Robert John Henry, Atherton, Beaverton City Township, Vietnam veteran. Richard Lister, Carl Hun, Secord Township City, Vietnam. Robert Johnson, Convencio, Beaverton City, Korea, Gladden Township. Carl Hun, James Jackson City, Billings Township. Retiree Charles Convencio, Korea. John Cleary, Vietnam veteran, Jane Township, Billings Township. Retiree from military, Alden Seeley, Sage Township, John Cleary, Vietnam veteran, Hay Township, Robert Graves, Korea, from Buckeye Township, Alden Seeley, Richard Levy, Sage Township, World War II, Beaverton City, Robert Graves, World War II, City of Buckeye Township, Gary Sanders, Richard Levy, Vietnam, World War II, Beaverton City, Max Short, Emory, World War II, City of Gladwin, Gary Sanders, Vietnam, Barat, Korea, City of Gladwin, Max Short, Korea, City of Gladwin.
Thank you, Commissioner Carl.
Thank you. I got a couple of things, Judge.
Child,
Korea did receive a copy of the Gladwin County Zoning Department shooting report.
Thank you.
By the Commissioner County. Thank you. I got a couple of things, Judge. Including that report, did receive a copy of the Gladwin County Zoning Department shooting report. Address seven zoning issues, citing non-use, special use permits, and meta requests. Including that report is that these have been 11 times, 25 amendments, we have a word in April. Review seven zoning issues, site plan review, special ordinance, amendment requests, after township zoning ordinance completed, recommended review of the issues by the master plan in Northern City and Village Township master plans. Proposed official for zoning township commission ordinance and amendment working to make a township within more clear and more user friendly Isabella master plan set by the city and Village Township. also, on the 31st of January, County Affairs scheduled a meeting with the floor task force.
It's been moved to second.
Scheduled to vote to review the, and also, on the 31st of January, County Affairs scheduled a meeting with the task force invited. Additionally, FEMA had 6,000 to review the preliminary map in our floodplain where it was submitted for review. Final hard invited, copy mapping, it looks like additionally, FEMA had 6,250 properties that were included in the floodplain. And based upon the final hard copy mapping, there's that we uploaded and shit, they have 20 parcels in it. That only went back in and reviewed them again instead of over an out. And knocked that down, some of the continued properties, said that all the town up was they had 20 parcels into the map. They went back in and reviewed them again, threw 12 of them out. So that knocked that down, some they're going to continue to do that. They also received harmony of any properties included in the map. Bob Evans is the schedule of 2013 green projects. And I don't know that the townships have received them. We also received harmony with its email to the townships. Letter from Bob Evans is the schedule of 2013 green projects. And I don't know that the townships have received them. It was over, what, $4 million?
$6 million.
It was over $6 million to save all that county.
A year.
Roughly 6,000 parcels.
$4 million.
$6 million.
Over $4 million in the north of the mountain.
A year.
It's pretty good piece of wood, so.
Yep.
And again, roughly 6,000 parcels to 50 years.
Townships really went together and everybody worked good together.
It's pretty good piece of wood, too.
Yep.
And again,
A year in the works.
That's why I brought the letter today. Townships
talk a little bit
really
more.
went together and everybody worked good together.
Thank you.
That may be something we have to consider. Take a look at it.
Yep, that's why I brought the letter today.
Necessary.
I'll talk a little bit.
It's in the Board of Health in Harrison, Region 7B in West Branch twice, Board of Health in Mount Pleasant. Okay, the Northern County Association. It's in the Board of Health meeting in Harrison, Region 7B, Township meeting, Beaver Township Board of Health in the City of Mount Pleasant. We discussed the Northern County Health Association program, Grayling. There were 33 counties. Brown Township meeting, Beaver Township, Ryan Cote sitting on the speakers. We discussed, he said, they're telling him 65% will improve the health insurance programs. There were 39 discussing, he said maybe more like 35. Ryan Cote was something we need to factor in all the decisions that we make. They're telling him 65% here in health care. Lee and I discussed, he said maybe an alternate. Brian is like I was. It is something we need to factor in all the decisions that we make between alternatives next year in the health care. And we were discussing looking at alternatives. Brian was sponsor like I was, managing to work it. So we will find any alternative editorial license in case it hits us that hard. We're discussing too is one of the ongoing problems that we have changed the funding of the court system from without any editorial license. We're involved, we put together legislation to things that we're changed the funding of the court of the state. There were 4 state reps at the meeting and 1's direct from the state, so that we are, it's got to reach, we must need to make changes to fix it. By the time there's some states, there were 4 state reps at the meeting, and 1 thanks to Dennis, there are 2 of us on it. It's got to reach, we must need to make changes to fix it. Nominated by, other than that, I've been pretty busy, the finance committee, and so that's what, thanks to Dennis, there are 2 of us on it. Yes, it's a district board, about 1 penny. And I called up Mr. State Attorney General on the finance committee, so that's what required that meeting.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. About 1 penny.
Thank you.
And I called up Mr. State
I
Attorney
attended
General.
the village township meeting last night, and,
Thank you, Commissioner Grant. Commissioner Whittington.
thank you. I attended the village township meeting last night, and